His first appearance with us on the program, and as we already mentioned, the guy he'll be facing, he's won 2 in a row already. 2 weeks ago, a 365 to beat Jim Woodson, and last week a 359 to beat Steve Vadnais. 3rd week in a row for Dennis Shute.
Well, he's like I said, the last 2 times he was on, he missed, didn't get into the winner's circle. This time he's won 2, and last week wasn't the most artistic type of bowling he's ever done, but the win is a win, and who knows, he might throw 400 this week.
All right, we had a big winner in our bonus ball contest last week, $110. So if you haven't mailed in cards for a couple of weeks, we'll need to get them from you again to get into the box. Now's a good time to start because we had to empty it all out. So we'll be back down to $10 for the jackpot at the end of the show. Semi-final match, we're getting into the big money in this John Grapponi Ford Championship. We'll get the best of 3 string matches started right after this timeout. Don't go away. All right, this is where we are on Candlepin Stars and Strikes, the John Grapponi Ford Championship. We have reached the semifinal round. Last week, Dennis Shute knocking off the number 3 seed Steve Vadnais. Dennis has won 2 matches in a row now, and so today he moves on to face our number 2 seed Dan Stewart, making his first appearance from Manchester, New Hampshire, and Dan is set to get us started over on lane 32. Dan once again wound up second as a result of the 1-string roll-off with George Ajif. 2 bowlers wound up tied after 5 strings. They came back, rolled an extra string. 121 to 100. George Ajif won the tie-breaking string, and he was up last in the final box, Dan. He needed a spare with a 6 count to tie it, and he got a spare with a 7 to win it by 1. So as a result, Dan is the number 2 seed for this series. But as I understand it, he was just happy to get here.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier in the week, and like he said, a lot of good bowlers in the ladder. As we saw last week, though, the name won't get you 400. You got to knock the pins down. Steve Vadnais, he's been with us a number of times, was knocked off by Dennis Shute and didn't bowl very well at all. So Dan was just happy to make the show.
Well, that wood has turned pretty nicely for Dan. May have a shot at sweeping this over.
2, 3, 6, and 10.
No, capped it.
Almost carried it, but it's a little heavy on the wood. Like Doug said, he capped it instead of sliding it across, clearing out the 2 and the 3, 6, and 10.
And a pair of 9s for Dan Stewart. Bringing us to Dennis Shute, who has won 2 weeks in a row. Right through the center.
Deja vu. Last week, that's all it seemed like Dennis and Steve did, was going through the middle until the last several boxes of that 3rd and final game. Nice try by Dennis.
Dennis had 6 marks in the last 7 frames last week to end up beating Steve Vadnais 359 to 342. The last 4 marks for Dennis last week came in a row, the final 4 boxes, and that was really what did it, although Steve Vadnais marked in 3 of the final 4. They took a long time to get heated up last week.
2, 4, 5. Triangle. And covers for the first mark of the match.
Oh, pretty pocket hit for Dan Stewart and all around the 5-pin.
Yeah, the old 5-pin, just like hitting the head pin, going directly behind the head pin, and you're gonna see a little hitch in Dan's delivery right at the foul line. If we can pick it up, watch him stand up, let him come up with that. Instead of staying down until that ball is on its way, you have a tendency to pull the ball right, pull the ball left if you don't stay down with your shot. Off target a little bit. And what a shot. Nice shot by Dan.
you can tell, Dan has brought some support here with him.
Plays it on the inside. The ball goes down, clears out the 6 and the 10. Headpin does the rest of the damage for his first mark, and that's always the toughest in front of the camera and lights, is getting your first mark up.
And Dennis Shute fills a spare with a spread eagle.
Again, 2 times in a row now in lane 32, right through the middle.
Six-pin lead for Dennis, but he's now opposite that spare in the 4th.
So by ending tie, Doug, that 1-string roll-off is quite a bit of money, difference in money, just you know, finishing that 1 seed higher, second to first.
Yeah, George Ajif with that 1 pin guaranteed himself an extra $250. Guaranteed at least second place money. $1,000 to the series champion, $500 to the runner-up, $250 to the runner-up of this match. And a good out for Dennis in the 10.
Well, Dan Stewart can take the lead. Anything over 6. Four horsemen.
There's your 6.
All tied up. Dan carries an average of 110. So you can see 110 average, yet in the roll-off, he bowls out of the lakeside lanes in Manchester, but in the roll-off, he has 672 for a 5-game roll-off. So he's considerably over his average by almost 150 pins, 120 pins.
Good 10 bucks for Dan, the 1-7. Dan and his wife Karen have 1 son, Tommy. He's 3 years old. Dan works at the United States Post Office in Manchester. Wonder if he's recovered from the Christmas crush yet. Dottie Larick working the big scoreboard. And his Shute slides off the 10 pin, leaving the 6-9.
Yeah, looks good. Covers it for his second mark. He'll take the lead whatever he knocks down on the fill on the spare. And it's going to be everything.
Spare strike for Dennis Shute, and we'll take another look. Again, the 10 pin kicking out, this time for the strike. Well, Dan going left, but he does have a piece of wood in there that might help him out if he hits the object pin.
It's going to be on the head pin. Looks good. All you do is that wood in between there helped him clear out the other 5 pins, and big 9-pin drop, and it's going to get noisy. He can string a few together. Brought a lot of rooters with him. Now he's got the 9-pin, but he's got a tough piece of wood out in front. Still moving. Now he's almost got to shoot the pin just like the wood wasn't there. He's got to be up high on it, not high enough. Got to be above the red line in that one and turn it, and again push it straight back.
$10 for Dan. Take a look at that spare shot again.
He's actually right on the red line, maybe a little bit below it, right around the pin. Had to be a little higher to turn that pin instead of pushing it to the right sidewall. You see Dennis working on a strike, looking for 2 in a row.
Really pulled that one. And lofted it out there as well, close to a lob.
Jumps him up to a 20-pin lead, but he's opposite a spare 9, so he's going to lose some of those. 9 of them to be exact.
Before I forget, want to remind everyone that our next taping session here for Candlepin Stars and Strikes will be right here at Park Place Lanes in Wyndham on Tuesday, February 16th. And we hope that you'll stop by. You get a chance. Park Place Lane is located right near Route 93 at the intersection of routes 28 and 111 in Wyndham. We start about 10 in the morning and go till about 5 in the afternoon or so. Love to see you. Tuesday the 16th of this month.
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad, considering he missed the head pin. Leaves himself the 1 and the 7. And, oh, he got a couple pieces of wood in between. Looks good. Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
Whoa. Dan kind of looked to the heavens for that help on that one. It looked like he hit it perfectly, but wood went all around the 7.
Take a look at it.
Watch the wood fly. Both sides of the 7.
In the pocket that time for the 2-4 leave. Watch out.
Oh,
wow.
Just enough.
That's doing it the hard way.
Just enough. Clips it. Thank goodness for those sidewalls. That's what he had to do, though. He had to hit the object pin. Now we'll fill the mark. 111 plus this ball, and it's going to be 5.
116. Dennis Shute now to finish out this first string. Ooh, boy. The 5-7, no wood. And that looked like a pretty good hit.
It did. It was all in the 1-2 pocket, but his ball breaks from left to right. It backs up a little bit. He's going to try to cut the 5 into the 7. Nice try. Now, it looks like Dennis will have the lead, but not by very many, unless he... Well, even if he puts a mark up in a 10th. Lead is 10 now, but as you see, he's opposite a spare 5. One, 3, and 10. Looks good. Covers 121 with the ball to come. The lead is 5 plus what he gets on this ball. And it's going to be a big 9 drop.
For a 130 for Dennis Shute. And a 14-pin lead at the end of 1. 130 for Dennis Shute, 116 for Dan Stewart. One string in the book. We're back with the middle one right after this word. Well, last week, if you weren't here, Kay Fair of Lawrence, Massachusetts was a $110 winner in our bonus ball contest. So we're going to start all over again at $10 this week. Hope you have your postcards in. If not, here's how to do it. Regular size postcards only. Your name, your full address, and a number from 1 to 10. Mail them on into Park Place Lanes, Route 28, Windham, New Hampshire, 03087. If the number on your card matches the number of pins that drop when our winning bowler throws one ball at the end of the show, you'll win the jackpot. And just for having your card drawn, you will win a TV50 NHCBA desk pen from the folks at N&R Trophy in Winchendon, Massachusetts. So get those postcards in to us. We'd like to hear from you. Middle string upcoming now, and Dennis Shute to start it off. Well, in the first string, each bowler had 3 spares. Dennis Shute had a strike on one of those spares, and that's pretty much the difference right now.
Tough shot here with the 3-6 because of the angle of the wood. Yep, played it perfectly. Just clipped it as it was going by the 3. If he was on the 3-pin heavy, would have went right around the 6.
Oh, boy. Dennis has done that several times. Punching through the center on a fill.
Just when he thinks he's going to pull out of it. And string a few in a row, he goes through the middle.
Of course, Dennis would be the first to admit he hasn't scored particularly high. 2 weeks ago, it was a 365 without a mark in the final string. And then last week, it was a 359, but he was at 211 after 2. Came up with a big 148. In fact, he's had that one big string each week. He had a 151 2 weeks ago.
And everything but the 5 and 7 for Dan Stewart. Going to try to cut the 5 into the 7.
And I think I might try and get that wood moving.
Yeah, that's what he's trying.
Huh? I think you might have a better chance at that than you do at the cut shot, maybe.
Yeah, well, it could be. I feel you're shooting approximately the same amount, really. You cut the 5-pin over, just that you're shooting at a pin that's standing up, you're shooting at one lying down. But let's be honest, we both would have missed the shot.
Well, there's no question about that.
Although I'm coming back, Doug. I'm starting to practice.
Yeah?
Starting to practice. Yeah. Have you been bowling at all?
Not lately.
Oh, good. Want to have a match?
The holidays and everything, you know,
Yeah.
got busy. Dan looking to convert that one first ball into a spare, almost.
As we speak, as if you're watching this on a Sunday afternoon, the Pepsi Classic is going on in Concord. So after the show, don't leave the show. Watch the show, and then run up to Concord. You can catch the last couple shifts of that 10-string tournament. Be some real fine bowling.
And there's another WCBC Pro Bowlers Tour event coming up soon.
.33 after 3. Interesting. 2, 4, 7, 9, and 10. Not real favorable piece of wood out in front, though. He's going to come up the right-hand tip of that wood, I believe. Oh, he's going way down low. I see what he's trying to do. There is a pin in behind the 4 and the 2, and I think he was trying to clip the 4 and the 7 and have snap that wood, clearing the 2 and possibly the 9 and 10. Not a bad choice. See what happened there? He tried to drive the ball through the wood and left the 2-pin.
And Stewart hoping to be able to shoot at something. Have to try the 3, 6, and 7.
Oh, what a shot.
Oh, wow.
Geez.
He can't believe it. He thought he had it.
I can't believe it. Oh, he almost stood the 3-pin up in the channel next to the 7-pin.
You know, I think maybe if that piece of wood hadn't been in the channel, he might have had it.
Might be right.
Because when that 3-pin came flying over, it was somewhat deadened by the ball in the gutter. Or the piece of wood in the channel, rather.
Here's a replay of that. And watch the 3-pin. Up and over, and you're right, Doug. It stood right up on that piece of wood and then came back on the playing surface. Tough break.
Oh, coming back. Almost grazed it. And Dan will take the 10 box, and we will pause right here through 4. Dennis Shute has added 4 pins onto his lead. It is now 18 pins, just about halfway through the match. And we'll be back with more on Stars and Strikes in a minute. Dennis Shute, box number 5.
Four-pin lead for Dennis in this string, and 14 pins from the previous game, 18-pin lead. Triangle, 3, 5, and 6. And removes a 5-pin right straight through the middle. There's no marks up for Dan Stewart this string, but not through any fault of his own. He hit a few there, especially the last box, 3, 6, and 7, or the third box, and cut the 3 right over there. And I don't know how didn't knock the 7-pin down, but it didn't.
Oh, that was a good ball for Dennis Shute. Yep.
You see the ball breaking back into the 1-3 pocket this time. And they all go.
His second strike. And Dan Stewart still looking to try and put something together here. Oh, wow. 6 and the 10 pins each slid over. He's still very much in this.
Lost that one to the right. 1, 2, 5, 8, and 9.
Wow. Well, how often do you see this as a leave?
2, 5, 9.
Number 9 box. Dennis Shute now with a real chance to pad that lead. It's 19 plus the fill on the strike.
It's interesting. Yeah, my choice is the 9-pin with the wood, obviously, and try to sweep it into the 8 and then finally the 7. Delicate shot. It looks like the wood's lined up, so he's got a shot at it.
Well, that's another way to make it.
Well,
I
this
guess
is really the first time I kind of disagree with this choice, but can't disagree with the result. I didn't see it that way at all, but
maybe he didn't either. Maybe it was an accident.
But he made it.
Again, 3 in the back. This time the 7, 9, and 10.
And again, wood out in front. That's got to have to be played to convert the spare. By using the one out front, though, is going to jeopardize the 9 and the 10, but he's going by it. Well, didn't have the angle of those two, so I guess he had to use that, but he would have had trouble with the 9 and the 10. So the ball would have flown up and probably over. There's a couple big boxes for Dennis Shute. 97 after 8. Danny Stewart still looking for his first mark of the second game.
Now let's see what he does with this. The 1, 3, 6, and 8.
So having trouble finding the head pin now. It's dangerous to the left of it, then you're to the right of it. Timing's a little out of sync right now.
Dan waiting for his ball return. Pocket hit that time, and look at that, the 7-8.
Well, he's got a shot. The wood stuck around for him.
So if it stays right in the middle where it is now, that's his best shot.
Yeah, he's going to try to in between. Nice shot. Nice shot. That's got to help the confidence a little bit, because he's been bowling a little better than the 63 after 7 shows on the scoreboard.
Dennis Shute now on lane 32, and it'll be the 5, 7, 8.
Wants that wood to turn a little bit if it will, but I don't think it's going to. Well, I would guess wrong last time, but I'm going to say he's going to go right at the 5 pin in the wood. Ball should go towards the 7. Will we carry it? Yes, it does. Nice shot by Dennis Shute. Nice shot by Shute. 107, ball to come in a box. 7 fill, 247 for another spare. And really starting to stretch out his lead.
Shot for Dennis. That's 4 out of 5 now. And 7 more for a 131 after a 130 opening game.
Nice ball by Danny Stewart. Fill on the spare of 8. He's got the 4 and 7 with a piece of wood in front. And it's out a little bit. You always have to worry about that. 2 in a row.
Well, he needs 2 marks here in the final 2 just to keep the lead right around 30.
Another good ball.
Wow. Leaves the 9 pin.
Big mark here. Big mark for him. Not only boost his confidence, but give him a little momentum coming into the 3rd game. 9 pin all alone. It's right on it.
Yeah.
3 clutch marks by Danny Stewart of Manchester, New Hampshire. Closing out this 3rd game, 110 in a ball. And it could have been out of sight without those 3. Still going to be considerably behind, but off target a little bit. 4.
For a 114 and a 230 total after 2, so the lead will be 31 for Dennis Shute with 1 string remaining, and we will have that string after we have these messages. Dan Stewart's rooting gallery trying to get him started here in the 3rd string.
Oh boy. Oh. Well, he's going to have a shot. It looked a lot worse at at first, 5, 7, and 10. Oh, right where the piece of wood come together. Right there.
Yes.
Nice shot. But yes,
Oh, wow.
really 4 marks in a row now. He finished with 3 in the second game. And doing all right for his first time in front of the cameras. Oh, boy.
Oh,
Pull that
wow.
one to the left. 2-pin, 1 fill.
Oh, boy. And it pretty much negates the mark.
Right, and probably any momentum that he had coming in. He made a nice spare, and next thing you want to do is have a decent fill and at least have another shot at the mark. Keep that momentum going, give Dennis something to think about.
Watch out. 6-7 for Dennis.
Ooh, I didn't think the ball could fit through there. But he's trying to tip the wood, have the ball carry him off, and get the 6-pin, have the wood take the 7. And now he'll grab one.
Come on, Dan. Same bogey at 10 this time.
Back to the old theme.
Yeah, through the middle.
Well, Dan won't lose any ground in these 2 boxes.
Actually going to gain a couple. 29. Needs some marks.
All right, come on, let's go right down the middle, Stewart. Come on.
The winner of this match to face George Ajif for the John Grapponi Ford Championship next week here on Stars and Strikes. Boy, Dan has had a couple of 9-pin drops, but he's not had his first strike yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
that one skipped on him. Yep.
Slid by. I don't think the ball didn't actually leave the lane. Just slid by the 7-pin. That's what he wanted.
Boy, oh boy.
Just a couple weeks ago, Dennis had trouble in that last game throwing a 95.
And a 6-box.
And
Come on, Dan. You gotta start him up now. Let's go.
Dan's actually gaining without the benefit of a mark. Although he's going to need a few. Going to run out of frames here.
Good ball, Dan.
Solid 9 drop this time. The wood is there, but he'll shoot at the pin.
Come on, Amy. That's the eye.
And we'll pause right here as Dennis Shute puts in a mark up in the 4th. That could be a very important mark before it's all over. Dennis Shute in the lead. We'll finish it out here on Stars and Strikes in a moment. Six boxes left for Dan Stewart. Again, that explosive first ball, but he just can't seem to get that first strike. That wood will be well out of play. It may go into the channel all by itself. Walter Kern to take care of it. And Dan Stewart will have a spare leave for himself here. The 6 and the 9.
Getting to that point in the match where he's going to have to start stringing some marks.
Right on it. Oh, that's tough too after the wait.
He even waited to the lob line judge, went right back down in his seat. Looking for the big fill. Oh boy, right through the middle.
$6. Dennis got a break that time on the 4-7.
You're right, tripped out the 4-7. Hit the object pin, the head pin. Leaves himself the 3, 6, and 10, and it looks like a nice piece of wood out in front of the 3. It's in the red line, should sweep right down through the 3 pins for another mark. Well,
should have.
Thanks, Dan. You've done it again.
$49.5 for Dennis, but he still leads by 29. Drop that one.
Yeah, and what happens that when he did that, didn't release it out far enough on the lane, started to grab the lane right away, broke to the right as his ball does from left to right, and missed the head pin. See Dennis's record on the show, trying to get over that 500 mark with a win today.
Well, he leads by 33 with 4 boxes remaining.
Yeah, it's not mathematically impossible, but he's got to start stringing the marks. Still looking for his first mark. First strike. And now he's going to have an ugly piece of wood out in front. He's going to have a shot.
Wow.
Pulled a little bit to the left and caught that wood.
Let's get him again.
Well, Dan making his first appearance on the show, and we've talked about that before. How tough it is to make that first one.
First time always builds a little character. You know, he was over his average the first game, over his average the second game. And the third one is yet to be finished. And he hit a couple good shots. Missed a single this last frame. Nothing to be ashamed of. He's done pretty well. He's going to have to play the wood, get the 9 and the 10. Give it a shot. He's got another piece in the channel behind it. So that first piece should fly out. See what happens. Nope, missed it entirely.
And an 8 for Dan. And a shoot again through the center. Oh boy.
I think we both thought the same thing. Well, that's a pretty good looking ball going in. Leads himself the 6 and the 7. No wood. No broomstick to use.
I hope Dennis is laughing. But all you can do, something like that happens. Final 2 for Dan Stewart.
He can't throw the ball much better than that.
He turned away too. He just couldn't understand that one. The 5, 7, 8, 9, no wood.
Now that time he was in the 1-2 pocket, so he didn't get much help. Get over for Dan. Didn't get much help with the ball by going in the 1-2 because it goes right to the left sidewall for him instead of cutting through the pins, is what happened when you put the ball in the 1-3 pocket. However, you usually get a little better spare leave than the one he had. Yep. I know even Dennis is probably rooting for him to get a mark, get up over the 100 mark for the third game.
Well, he'll have a shot at one here. The 1, 2, 8 with wood to help. Boy, maybe that could have been the secret for Dan, is throw that first ball off the head pin.
Off the head pin, right. Go down the 2-4 and the 3-6 side, see what happens. I think Dennis Shute might be thinking the same thing. He's gone through the middle of this last game and not getting much off the head pin.
And Dan spinning out 7 on the spare, make it 8 for a 102.
Just about his average.
332 for 3. Dennis Shute will move on to the series championship next week against George Ajif. And it looked for a while like Dennis would have a score considerably higher than his first 2, but he's going to be right about the same general neighborhood. Had a 365 2 weeks ago, a 359 last week.
Yeah, it's strange how the pins have been falling, but bowlers, it seemed like they really get them going. It's going to be a big total, and then they have that one bad game and hit a few, miss a few, and go through the middle, but it's all part of the game. Most important thing to Dennis is that he's in the finals, and next week's match will be for $1,000 first place prize.
Well, 365 again, second week in a row for Dennis Shute at that 365 level, or rather second week out of 3. Last week it was 359. And he takes the victory, his 3rd in a row over Dan Stewart this time, 365 to 332. We'll talk with the bowlers and have the bonus ball contest in a minute. Dan Stewart, our runner-up this week on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Dan, the check for $250, the runner-up plaque from N&R Trophy Company of Winchendon, Mass. I know a little disappointing as far as the score is concerned, but first time is always the toughest one.
That was it. I couldn't find the head pin, and Dennis was steady all day.
And then when you did find the head pin, things just didn't seem to happen.
No breaks, but
Well,
Dennis deserved it. So.
Well, we appreciate you being here. As we say, the first time, it's always the toughest one to get here, and we expect to see you again soon.
Good, thanks. Hope
All
to
right.
be back.
All right, Dan. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And now we'll head over to lane 31 while we have a couple of minutes, and Dennis Shute for the bonus ball contest. And it's a half Worcester. Well, see if you can pull a 2 out of there, Dan.
2 cards?
Well, let's see. Looks like a shot of the White Mountains here from L.L. Nouri of Haverhill, Mass. And not surprisingly, well, L.L. obviously was guessing the number of pins left standing. As the guess was 8, so unfortunately not a match. We'll put the jackpot up to $20 next week. There's one thing I will say, Dennis, you're amazingly consistent. You've had this right around the same score all 3 weeks.
Good enough to win.
Yeah. Well, next week you go for it all. The big money on the line, and Georgia Jeef, the #1 seed, will be here, and we'll be looking forward to it.
Okay.
All right, Dennis Shute, 3 in a row, and we'll be back next week for that ladder championship match. The big money on the line.
Yeah, $1,000. The ball gets a little heavy when you start shooting for that kind of money. That's going to be exciting.
And, of course, it'll be Georgia Jeef's first time on the program here on Stars and Strikes, so it should be interesting. We hope you'll be with us next week right here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole TV50 Sports crew, so long, everybody, from Park Place Lanes.